At 11 years old, a skinny, sickly boy from a tiny village in Bosnia made a decision that would, without him knowing it, lead to the deaths of 20 million people. His name was Gavrilo Princip, and this is the story of how one bad day, one wrong turn, and one sandwich changed the entire world. By 1914, Europe was a powder keg. The continent had been divided into two massive alliance systems. If one country went to war, everyone had to follow. Britain, France, and Russia on one side, Germany, Austria, Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire on the other. All of them armed to the teeth, all of them suspicious of each other, all of them waiting for a reason to fight. That reason came in the form of a 19-year-old student with bad lungs and a burning hatred for the Austro-Hungarian Empire, which had swallowed up Bosnia, the country Gavrilo Princip called home. He joined a secret revolutionary group called the Black Hand, a Serbian nationalist organization that believed violence was the only path to freedom. They gave him a gun, a cyanide pill in case he got caught, and a mission kill Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, who was visiting Sarajevo on June 28, 1914. There were 6 assassins positioned along the Archduke's route that day. 6 chances to pull this off. The plan seemed solid. But as Franz Ferdinand's open-top car rolled through the streets of Sarajevo, the first assassin froze. He simply could not bring himself to throw the bomb. The second one panicked and did nothing. The third lost his nerve entirely. The fourth, a man named Nedeljko Čabrinović, actually threw his bomb, but he miscalculated. The bomb bounced off the back of the car, rolled under the next vehicle, and exploded, injuring several people in the following car, but leaving Franz Ferdinand completely unharmed. Čabrinović swallowed his cyanide pill and jumped into the river to escape. The cyanide was old and didn't work. The river was only 4 inches deep. He was arrested immediately, soaking wet, and very much alive. Franz Ferdinand, rattled but unhurt, continued to the town hall for his scheduled visit, reportedly furious that someone had tried to blow him up before he'd even given his speech. After the town hall visit, Franz Ferdinand decided he wanted to visit the people injured in the earlier explosion at the hospital. His driver, Franz Urban, was given the new route, but nobody told him clearly where to go. He turned down the wrong street. An aide shouted at him to stop and reverse. Urban hit the brakes and stalled the engine right in front of a small deli called Schiller's Delicatessen. And who was sitting inside that deli eating a sandwich, having completely given up on the assassination after everything went wrong? Gavrilo Princip. He had walked away from his post, dejected and convinced the mission had failed. He had stopped to eat, and now, completely by accident, the Archduke's car had stalled less than 5 feet in front of him. Princip stood up, walked out of the deli, drew his pistol, and fired 2 shots. The first hit Franz Ferdinand in the jugular vein. The second struck his wife Sophie in the abdomen. Both were dead within the hour. Princip tried to swallow his cyanide pill too. It also failed to work. He was arrested on the spot, too young under Austro-Hungarian law to be executed, and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. He died of tuberculosis in a cell in 1918, weighing just 40 kilograms, having never fully understood the scale of what that moment outside the deli had set in motion. Because within 37 days of those 2 gunshots, every major alliance in Europe had activated. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia mobilized to defend Serbia. Germany declared war on Russia. France was dragged in. Germany invaded Belgium to get to France, which pulled Britain into the conflict. In just over a month, the entire continent was at war because of a stalled car, a wrong turn, and a man eating a sandwich at exactly the wrong moment. World War I lasted 4 years and killed 20 million people. It redrew every border in Europe, collapsed 4 empires, and set the conditions for an even deadlier second war just 2 decades later. And it all traces back to one teenager who almost didn't succeed, who had given up and sat down to eat, and found history walking right up to him anyway, Gavrilo Princip died in prison never knowing that his 2 bullets had reshaped the entire modern world. Whether he was a terrorist, a freedom fighter, or just a desperate young man who got lucky in the worst possible way, history still hasn't fully made up its mind. But one thing is certain, if Franz Ferdinand's driver had taken the right street, you might be living in a completely different world.